a general purpose NPU. I'm about to speak to a guy named Veera. He's an absolute visionary in this area and the CEO of a company called Quadric. And he says that
NPUs are a scam.
we're going to learn all about what the difference is between an NPU and a GPU. I'll find out what a GP-NPU is, how it differs from an NPU, what applications you might find it in, and where it's going to go in the future. Let's go talk to Veera. Veera, thank you very much for letting me in your office.
Yeah, of course.
So you have a piece of IP that's referred to as the Chimera GP-NPU. We all know what an NPU is. It's just ravaging the industry at the moment. Everybody's talking about it. But what's the difference between a GP-NPU and an NPU?
So since you mentioned everyone's wanting an NPU in every device today,
Yes.
right? And the problem, when we started this company, we saw this trend of AI changing very quickly, right? So most of the industry designs NPUs, which are mostly locked to certain models or a family of models.
Right, okay. So if I buy an NPU today, it will support the models of today.
Exactly, right.
But not, okay, yeah.
You're right. And so when we looked at that space, we said, well, there's a lot of range of devices which are in the field for years, not 1, 2, 5, 10 years. And so you need something in there which is going to evolve and allow you to run the model of tomorrow.
Okay.
With just by changing software, right? You don't have the opportunity to go get a new chip in there. Instead, change software and run the new model. And we named it General Purpose NPU for that reason.
Right.
It's general, can handle any model, and can evolve as models changed.
So why'd you call it Chimera? Where did that come from? Because it's a really cool name, we've all agreed.
So it comes from this foundation of how we built it, right? If you look at CPUs, universally programmable, right?
Right.
Probably like 20 CPUs in this room right now, right? Across these cameras and laptops. And so when we looked at the space, we created Chimera, which is a blend of, brings in the CPU DNA, pulls it into an AI native systolic fabric. I said a lot of terminology there.
AI native systolic fabric. And we're talking about blood pressure.
So it's a tensor core, right? The kind that what NVIDIA has designed along in their chips. But it's fully programmable because it pulls in an instruction set that allows us to move data within it with a program or an instruction set.
Right.
And so it blends in the DNA of a CPU with that of what an AI tensor core looks like in one single programmable unit. So we call it Chimera, like the blend of two different animals in one. But the mythical beast. Chimera.
That's beautiful. So let me ask about the fact that you just called it programmable. Right, so my understanding of an NPU, which may or may not be incorrect, is that you'll upload a model with weights to it. And that's the end of story. You've probably compiled this and you upload it, right?
Correct.
A GP-NPU, you've called that programmable. How do you mean programmable? Do you mean I'm physically going to be sitting down and writing C code for this? Or do you mean programmable in the sense of you can change around FET's high-low value, similar to an FPGA reprogramming it?
It's very similar to how CPUs run code. So a GP-NPU runs code, a stream of code that the machine is decoding and executing as instructions, except it's designed to do really well at AI inference workloads.
Right.
Now, when a programmer programs it, we have a C++ interface to write code in it. We're developing a Python interface, making it easier to write code in.
Yep.
And we have compilers that automatically generate code for it. The C++ code is automatically generated as well. If you have a machine learning graph coming from PyTorch, right? So we have different ingestion paths. Eventually, it's running code, which means you can write assembly, C++, Python, or use one of our compilers.
So pretty much what I'm hearing is that you have a solution that is future-proof. You have the NPU of today optimized for the models of today, which take the weights from today. And your solution is reprogrammable.
Correct.
So a model that is created by our beautiful computer scientists at home will one day be uploaded to this, even though maybe it's 10 years in the past that it was put onto a board.
Right.
So I'm assuming most people have heard of the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. Is that true for this solution?
That's actually a great question, right? And it comes up a lot.
Yes.
Because people ask, well, what did you give up, right?
Yes, exactly
you
right.
made it programmable, gotta have given up something,
Yes.
right? And so what it's not good at is, running your operating system. It's not designed to do that.
Right.
It's not going to replace a CPU. It
Don't expect
cannot
it
do
to.
graphics, right? It won't run games. So it is designed for the domain to run AI inference and that domain of workloads. Within that domain, it's fully programmable. And when you look at solutions that sort of split the problem into an NPU and a CPU and a DSP and a GPU, those types of solutions actually struggle in performance because they have to move a lot of data
from
around.
one place to another,
exactly,
right? Yes, exactly right.
And this unified architecture, or Chimera, that's a blend of best of both worlds, actually does pretty well in that domain. So I will say we don't give up anything. We actually gain a lot by making it unified and programmable. It's counterintuitive, but that's what it is.
Very good answer. So another question that I would have in my head is, what is an application that a GP-NPU would just flame an NPU? What's an application that I would use a GP-NPU and not an NPU in?
Two things. One is if your model is complex, right? If you were looking for 10 years ago a CNN, simple convolutional neural networks, you have a camera that needs to do that one task all day.
Yep.
Don't use a GP-NPU for it, right?
Okay.
Right? You want a simple, hardwired, specific solution, that a camera that's detecting people and pets all day. You don't need a GP-NPU for this.
You're saying it's just too much for the application. There's no point putting
it's
this.
Overkill.
Okay,
it's
sure.
overkill. Where we really shine is you have a bunch of pre-processing, a bunch of post-processing. There's multiple AI models in the full application pipeline, right? Take example of a face recognition system which starts from a raw camera pixels to recognizes all the people in there and label them. That's a fairly complex pipeline which has many different things happening, including AI models. We really shine at that because all of that entire pipeline will live on the GP-NPU, all driven by code, which means you can update it to the next generation of the AI model, which has better accuracy, and keep up with that, right? So applications such as automotive, where a car is in the field for 20 years, right? OEMs would love to update and get you the next version of the AI that is safer and build a new revenue stream charging you for software updates. Right? Tesla is doing it, other OEMs are following that.
Right, I'm really seeing the appeal of this in that case. So I think this is very cool technology. You've already received Series A and Series B funding, and it's looking like you might be on the track for Series C.
We are.
How behind this technology are you? Do you think this is truly the future of the NPU? I can re-ask that question.
Absolutely, no, absolutely.
Sorry, do you want to say that again? I would have spoke over you. Go for your absolutely.
No, absolutely. If you look at the NPU space, it's the changing algorithms from CNNs, transformers. Transformers are about to run out of steam. State space models, there's 5 other things we're tracking. Every customer we run into has gone through the pain of, I did this, my chip is useless after a year, I can't handle this, my customers are mad. And they see the value in having a more flexible, programmable solution. So are we shooting for a very wide adoption and getting an install base across automotive, PCs, cameras? Absolutely. Right. So that's the short answer is we have good patient investors. We're on the verge of another round of funding on the basis of the wins that we have right now.
Amazing.
And moving forward to get broad adoption, we think it's going to consolidate into a strong provider of a good NPU. It comes with great software. And we are one of the few companies that are going after this.
Great. Veera, thank you very much for your time. ipX is what an insane new technology. This is exactly what we traveled to California and Silicon Valley to come and see. If you like this, you can see some more videos after this. Otherwise, like, subscribe, but stay disruptive.